Merry Christmas. Despite the way I was raised, where Christmas officially started the day after Thanksgiving, if not Thanksgiving evening, and despite the fact that stores have had Christmas decorations and sales up since before Halloween, and that our Christmas tree went up at least a week before Thanksgiving, and I started listening to Christmas carols about November 5th. Today is the day that we officially kick off the Christmas season with the beginning of Advent and the lighting, if I can do it. Might help if I raise this wick up. The candle of hope. The first week of Advent. And I hope you like my Darth Vader Star Wars Christmas shirt. I was going to wear one of my Santa Claus ties, but then I remembered that we have flag practice today, and I didn't want to be trying to do flags in a dress shirt and a tie. And that may seem kind of weird because, Christmas is about Jesus, not Santa Claus, and definitely not Darth Vader. But, unfortunately, even among believers, our idea of God and our relationship with Him is a lot closer to Santa Claus and Darth Vader than it is who He really is and how He really feels about us. We have a tendency to float back and forth between the idea that, hey, you better behave and act right, because He knows when you've been sleeping, when you've been awake. You better be good, and if you're good enough, He'll bring you something. He'll give you something. If you're really, really, really good, and He really loves you, you might get what you want. And if you're not good enough, then you're going to get something bad. Lump of coal. Punished forever. And then we go the other way, and we see Him as the power and the ruler, and you better do it perfectly, because if something goes wrong and you don't do it right, even if it's not your fault, He's going to throat choke you. And, you're just not going to measure up. He's going to throw you out a hatch into space, and you're done. And we hope that that's not what it is. But that's kind of what we believe, some of us. And we hope that the way I said, I hoped you like my shirt. See, English is one of those, horrible languages that we grow up speaking it, hearing it, reading it, going to school to be taught it, and 18 years later, still can't speak it. Because it has all those fun things like the word red. Define the word red. Well, could be this color, or it could be that I read that book, or, love. What does it mean to love? And what does it mean to hope? Is it a wish? Sometimes we hope, like I do, did last night. We do what we want, eat a bunch of chocolate-covered cherries when you're allergic to cherries because you want them, and you hope you don't get too awful sick. I kind of, my eyes got puffy and itchy, but I didn't, suffer all night, so I guess I did okay. And we hope like that sometimes, that we can do what we want, but just not too much of it so that we don't get into too much trouble and pain. Or that we can be good enough somewhere else to balance it out. We hope that maybe if we're really good on certain days, close enough to Christmas, We go on Sundays that God will look down favorably at us. That he'll forget the other stuff, just kind of turn a blind eye. But that's not the kind of hope that we have. That's not real hope. That's fantasy and wishing and budging and manipulating and all kinds of fun things like that. Friday, I was leaving my house to go out in the yard to do something. And I have a confession to make. The glass door that goes in front of the regular door, I keep wanting to call it a screen door, but it's not screen, it's glass. The latch is broken on it and has been for a while, and I haven't gotten around to fixing it yet. So we have taken a ribbon, tied it to the handle, you pull it shut, you shut the door, you wrap the handle around the doorknob, and it stays shut. Works. Keeps the dogs from scratching out the door. Well, I unwrapped it. I opened the main door. The ribbon fell down. And I went to push open the door and step down onto the first step. And my foot stopped. And I went off balance. There's another deal of hope. I hope I don't fall down this 4-foot flight of stairs into the yard to get mobbed by my dogs before I can get up. And I took my foot off the deal because I realized that I had stepped on the ribbon. My foot wouldn't even go all the way to the floor because I'd gotten it right down there like a tight walker, right there in the middle. And I took my foot off and went to go ahead, and the door still didn't open, and I nearly fell. What's going on? I looked down. I don't know how, but I had managed to get my back foot on the thing too. I had both feet on it, and I had moved the wrong one and tried to go forward. Why bring that up? Because we do that all the time. When we put our hope in the wrong things, we understand that we're messed up. We understand there's something wrong. We're off balance. It's not working right. There is a need that is not being met. And we try to fill that with social things and family or God through religious activities. And we try to pray really hard, and we try to read our Bible enough, and we try to go to church every time the doors open or whatever. We try all these different things. Things that the world promises will work. Things that we just think maybe will work. Things that seem religious and spiritual enough that they should work. And some of them are good things. And some of them are even part of real relationship. But when we're trying activities, when we're trying formulas, when we're trying anything like that to try to keep from falling down, it's not going to work because we're moving the wrong foot. We have to have the relationship. It's not about religion. It's not about superstition. It's not about wishing upon the right star or having enough faith to convince yourself that you really, really, really believe when you don't, so that God has to do what you want him to do. It's not about being good enough. It's about having that relationship with our Creator, our Daddy who loves us, with the Word that came and became flesh. And that is our hope, Emmanuel, that God truly is with us, that he truly loves us, that he's not going to disown us if we're not quite good enough, because we're never going to be good enough. And like the nation of Israel, they were hoping for the Messiah, but they were looking for a commander of armies, for a general who would do what they wanted and just make the surface more comfortable, more secure, and more pleasurable. Instead, they got a baby born in a barn And they missed it because their hope was looking for the wrong thing. But that baby grew to be a man who did what we could never do and did it right, with the right motives, the right way. And he went to the cross. And in what Martin Luther calls the great exchange, he gave us the greatest gift. The gift began when the angel went to Mary. Probably somewhere in June, because Jesus was probably born in March, not December. But this is when we celebrate his birthday. And it was in front of everybody when he went to the manger. But the real gift came when he shed his blood, and all of our unrighteousness was poured out on him, and his perfection was poured out on us. That's a fair trade. Not. He loves us. He died for us. And we can hope in the way that we hope the sun will come up tomorrow, with an assurance that he's going to keep loving us. If he loved us that much when we hadn't even tried to like him, that he's going to keep loving us. When he said that he would make a way and then he did, then we can hope that he's going to keep the rest of his word and do the rest of the things he said he's going to do, because he hasn't fallen short of anything already. So when he says he's going to complete the work, he will. And when he says that he's made us his adopted children, sealed by his Spirit, bought with the blood of Jesus, and that we are no longer orphans, no longer under the judgment of the scale of did you do it perfectly right or not, but now giving the gift of grace, we can have that hope, that true hope, that no matter what we've done, and no matter what we go through down here, and no matter what it may look like or feel like, and no matter how crazy and chaotic this season may be, that peace is coming because of what Jesus did. So this Christmas season and beyond, let us not put our hope in the idea of getting what we want, or in making other people happy, or in being good enough, or in maybe doing things right enough, or that maybe just things won't go too bad. But let's put our hope in our relationship with him. And that's the gift that lasts forever, literally, and is freely ours if we'll just receive it.